Hi, and welcome to Let's Win Endless Legend. I'm Fwop, and I've tried to do intros for this game 3 times already, and I just learned more and more about how you should play, or the idiosyncrasies, the nuances, and I think I'm finally ready. So, first off, I would like to say that the early release version of my own mod for XCOM, for the XCOM mod Long War, I have a mod called the Tactical Sense Overhaul mod, and it's ready. Not all of the weapons have been updated to my specifications. The ballistic set of weapons are all at their regular, or have all been updated for testing purposes, but if you install the mod, future versions won't require a restart, is the good news of your campaign. So, that's out there for anyone who cares, and I promise you it is fantastic. I've been playing around with it, it's amazing. But, for Endless Legend, for non-channel announcements, this game is amazing. I downloaded it on Play for Free weekend, which was, what, last weekend maybe 2 weeks ago. Got it half price. I do love Amplitude Studios. I really appreciate the way they try and design games with player input and the Games Together initiative they have, as well as how they keep all their games in the same universe. So Endless Space is a giant space 4X game. I would say it lacks a lot of the soul that made Master of Orion 2 the ultimate 4X space game. But it's working on it. It's pretty slick. I would say the interface is up there with Galactic Civilizations, the newer ones, and I was very excited to see it. Did not play it that much because it lacked a kind of, feel of being beset by strange oddities of space and such. Dungeon of the Endless, I've done a Let's Win of that. I absolutely enjoyed it. The weird dungeon crawler RPG roguelike mashup with 8-bit graphics. Fantastic. Still getting updated. They continue to update their games a lot. I hear Endless Space is fantastic now as well. And here we have Endless Legend, which is set on a planet in the Endless Space universe that has a more medieval technology level, but is also infused with dust, which of course allows for it's not only the gold-like resource for this game that you pay for most things with, it is also a not magical per se, but it allows you to manifest strong willpower onto the world in an energetic way not normally possible. So yeah, it's magic. So, we're going to play just a standard game to get everyone on their feet. There are a lot of interesting characters. All the races play very differently in a lot of neat ways. I believe the Drakken are the most... They are the races that are easy to understand. We'll go over all the details as we play. This could be a long one, because I would like to play, say, 20 turns or so. Of note, there are quite a few ways to win the game. You can, I think this is build the thing. You can control 80% of everything. You can science the win. This is kind of a reskin, these two races, of a high-tech race, one that lived in vaults, and that's why they're high-tech on the planet, and another that crash-landed. But yeah, basically you're just a reskin. You can kill everyone. This is not the prettiest race. You can science more things. You can have an economy so powerful that everyone is pretty much yours to command. to control. You can be allies, you can accrue enough diplomatic points. Not totally sure on the mechanics of that, except that, you know, the more allies and blah 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 you have, the faster they roll in. And you can control everyone's homeworld. You can also just research your way off planet, space victory of some sort, or escape, you know. And there might even be more ways. But there's also, yeah, well, so this is the most, I suggest you play the Drakken for your starting game, just to get a hold on things. And boom. There's a nice little hand-drawn intro for every race. I'll stop talking when that starts playing. But yeah, this game is amazing. If you like Heroes of Might and Magic, even the new Hero of Might and Magic was I enjoyed it. This brings a lot of that polish and has some really interesting ideas that I really like over Civilization and how it works. I think there's definitely an evolution in the genre present in Endless Dungeon, and I'm very excited to share that with you because it's amazing.
We have always been here. The Whispering Galleries have always held the memories of our people. Then they came, and they lifted us up. But they fought, and they fell. Our world was swept by cataclysm, and we were left alone. Still, we persevere, protect, and maintain, as we always have. We may lack their sight and their knowledge, but we can still read the omens. Another cataclysm is coming, and it is we, the Drakken, who must save the world of Horringer.
Some pretty heavy stuff. Oh, I love this where the map comes out of the dark. Oh, so good. Okay, so just a couple references. That intro video is talking about they lifted us up. Classic sci-fi story of a race without technology being brought into the technological fold by a high-tech race. They're talking about the Endless, of course. That's who the dust is made of. And if you don't know more than that, then you'll probably have to look it up on your own, because I'm not going to spend all that time. So let's go over our racial bonuses, because they are pertinent to us, how we begin the game. Okay, so the Drakken, you can see on your Empire Management screen, which is the first. Here, under Empire Information, it lists all of your starting bonuses. It also lists your starting troop. It also lists your native troop types. Those are the only troops you can build without doing other things. It notes that you have a main quest. All of the races have a main quest. And it shows any technologies you may begin the game with. So let's start. Diplomatic pressure is our affinity. That is our superpower. It gives the Empire the ability to force truce, peace, or alliance on targeted empires. So that won't be happening for quite a while, but is super powerful since that controls how your units can interact and borders and all that. Advanced diarchy is a faction trait. So these three are our racial powers. Empire plans are unlocked one era earlier. Empire plans are, you make the decision every 20 turns how to take, what direction your empire will go in. And what you can choose are very powerful bonuses in the military, science and industry, empire and expansion, or economy and population areas. Just to get an idea of how strong these bonuses are, the Era 1, so they're unlocked by Era, and ours all get unlocked one Era earlier. So it's not just that we get level 2 at the same time as we get level 1, it means that while other people are waiting until Era 4 for their final choices, we are not. But here you can see 20% unit cost reduction, 20% more science from all cities, 2 extra vision on units, which is incredibly good, 3 extra dust per citizen, 25 happiness in all cities. Yeah, these are very powerful bonuses that you can rearrange, mix and match every 20 rounds. Endless excavation, +2 science from terrain with ruins, and +3 influence on terrain with ruins. That's very good. So we'd like to build our cities next to or near ruins. And our last faction-specific ability is the Empire has the knowledge of the starting positions of every player. Our units are dragon-y type things that are, yep, dragonful. And we also start with the Empire Mint, which is a dust producing, enhancing technology. And Language Square, which unlocks the ability for our armies to parlay or bribe minor factions, which is a very, very key ability. Alright, so these notifications are from us knowing where the other players are. So we get this limited vision of where the other players start, and sometimes it includes meeting minor races. So for example, somewhere there is a Minotaur race, and all I have to do is click show location, and actually let's zoom in some, and here is a Minotaur minor faction. It's just a village. They're great. We'll go over what they're important for later. I am gonna skip meeting all of these guys since there's not much I can do with them at first. There are Arpuja Flying Harpoon minor races. There are Flying Chain Lightning Sword Wielding Lich Death things that have torn me up in previous games. And these crystalline beam shooting dudes. Just to give you an idea of some of the minor race versatility. Okay, let's zoom to our unit. So, here's our starting army. It consists of a settler and 2 Drakenlings. These are strong starting infantry. All the units are pretty balanced right from the get-go. You don't depend on like necessarily stopping using older units. It's kind of just go go go. Okay, our settler. So right now, since we have a settler in the army, we have the ability to colonize. Let's just preview city locations and all that jazz. And it looks like we've got a decent amount of choices here. I'm gonna cancel that. So the first thing you want to do, I find, is split up your army a little bit so that you can have a better look at what's going on. Of note are these ruins, especially for this race. You'll note that not only does it get 3 food from being on terrains and grassland, but it also gets 2 science and 3 influence thanks to our racial special. So you want to consider starting near those. Anomalies are these fancy looking terrain tiles, and they can, to some degree they enhance the terrain they're on. Often a lot. There are amazing anomalies. You want to be close to anomalies if you can, like this mutant marsh. What I do is I total the output, and I say, okay, this is a 9 resource output. That's 5 food and 4 science. This one is also a 9, which 9 is pretty fantastic for a single tile. So what I want to know, okay, so we also have wine here. Wine is a luxury resource you can use to do awesome stuff. That says good things for this area. So city placement is very important, as it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Let's separate a Drakken-Kin out from the crew. You see, we still got our 2 here. What you do is you select the one inside the army and move them out. Otherwise, the hero goes with him. Okay, so here we see a ruin, which is something we would like to spend. Have a city next to. So let's see. So I'd like to total up how much the city outputs total to have an idea of how strong it is. So you get 9 plus 7 is 16, plus 10 is 26, plus 4 is 30, plus 3 influence is 33. That is, anything over 30 is a awesome city spot. Let's look over here for comparison's sake. 17 food. Alright, so food and industry are really important at the beginning. 17 food is great, 3 industry is bad. Every citizen can make up 4 points of something or more with the proper tech, but that doesn't happen anytime soon. So food can make up for other stuff by breeding citizens much faster, but it's a tough sell if there's something more balanced nearby. Also, you want your city to have a good bit of open space around it for building districts. Okay, so that looks like the premier spot. But I'm gonna move this Drakken-Kin up here in case there's something really awesome to the left. Steel stocks. Here is a 8, 11. Now the happiness is 10 does not count. I might count that as like a 1 point improvement. But that is a serious spot to build a city. Yeah, here we've got 24, 30, 34, 37, but it'll take me a whole extra turn to get there. That might be worth it. I'm gonna move the settlers down there. And we're going to use this guy to explore. Okay, so we're starting to see the boundaries of our region, which are important to know. Okay, so let's take a look. 24, 30, 34, 33. With 18 food and 6 industry. Hard to say no. But I'm gonna start here. If you don't start on your first turn, then the upkeep, of which I have 17 up in this corner, eats away at your ability to start very quickly. Plus, you can always expand into the rest of the map. And here, you notice this border tile does not get counted for me. So we'll go over that in a second. Alright, so our first city rises out of the ground. No, it does not change or clear the terrain in any way. It's still forest. It does, because it's the city center, you lose 1 food from that resource because it gets so much other stuff. And we'll note that the city is now producing all of these. You don't need a person. We have 1 worker. Citizen. You do not need a citizen per tile. It just automatically uses them. And we're producing food, industry, science, dust, and influence points. So it's all gravy. Now, let's see. Our armies have moved. And you'll note that the border color changed to red, our color. So in the region of Donadan, we have the city of Donadan. You can change the names, if you must. But what's important to note is that cities cannot use tiles outside of their region. So outside of Donadan, in this other region we can see a bit of, or say Herkuf, a city built on one border will not use the other tiles. So this is just a way of separating cities out across the map. I think it's way smarter than Civ's like minimum 3 tile distance because it lets you do a lot of interesting. It's just so much simpler and easier. People can place their cities really close to each other, but they'll have no effect on each other. It's just fantastic. All right, one more thing, right? Let's science a little bit. Right off the get-go, I suggest that you get the mill foundry for the extra industry, which is so key to building improvements and upping everything in your game. I'll note that there is no order. There are no prerequisites for your stuff here. Research. You can select any research you want at any time in the highest era that you have unlocked. To unlock the next era, you need to, for a normal game, you can hover over these little dashes here. You need to have 9 of the previous era technologies researched. Now I start with 2 starting technologies, so I only need to research 7 to unlock era 2. Higher era technologies are, in general, better, though era 1 technologies can be, like, just as good. I think the yellow technologies grant you additional unit types. Yeah, I believe that's what it is. These light blue ones are already researched. It's split into military, science, and industry, influence, and empire and expansion, and economy and population once again. 2 that you will want to get are there is nothing you have to get, so I don't know, just let yourself go. This race, I'm going with industry, I'm going with influence and happiness. I think food is a tough one to pass up, but I think I might, because there's more food and all that stuff here. Dust could be a strong one, depending on your starting location, because you have to be near a river. And the starting science one. Note that since these give a percentage upkeep increase in industry and science, food. I don't think anything. And dust, which I already have researched racially. They are really key to making an empire that does a lot of whatever it is later. So we're going to start with this. And that is our turn. Whoops. What I meant was, we should build something. Here are the items you can build. Founder's Memorial gives you a little bit of everything, can only be built once. That Empire Mint that we start off with the technology for. District Boroughs cannot be built, perhaps because you require more population. I'm not sure what actually restricts them. And our starting military unit, as well as a settler, which does require more population to exist, since it eats one of your workers to make a settler. We'll start with the Founders Memorial. I suggest you start every game with this because it's fantastic. Wish we had more industry, but we'll probably end up spending some dust to acquire it. Since we now have dust in upkeep. Alright, so let's be done. Alright, so at the beginning of turn 2, you receive your racial quest's first quest. It's got great fluff. They've spent a lot of time looking into this for every race. There's a summary, and from this new city you'll reach out to this other species of Auriga, driven by strange portents like eggs that bear the wingless Drakken-lings. You must learn what is happening on Auriga. Alright. So, our objective is to level up 2 Drakken units to their level 2, and our reward is 15 glass steel, which is what you build some buildings and armors and weapons for your troops and heroes out of. So that's just going to hide up in the corner. You can have a ton of quests. And note this is a two-parter. Once we achieve this objective, there'll be something else. Progressing through your main story quest can provide huge bonuses for your race over the course of the game. You should do it. Alright. Let us move a bit. And so, ruins, besides providing me a bonus, also can be searched. You want to search with heroes because heroes receive 10 XP for doing this. Not their units, just the hero. And while armies without heroes can search ruins and get you stuff, that 10 XP is, you know, worth a lot. So we're going to search it. Our search was worth it. We get 10 gold. Alright, so gold is a luxury resource. It's going to sit in our stockpiles. You can see them in the Empire Management screen. And luxury resources can be used to boost your empire. So you can look at the tooltip here. The booster effect is for the next 10 rounds, 50% less dust on city upkeep and 5 extra approval. And it costs me 10 gold to trigger this 10 turn effect. So that's kind of awesome. It looks like that would save us that would make us 5 extra dust a turn. And there's almost no reason not to use. I mean, I can wait. But I find that they're just fantastically useful. Let me think. I am going to hold off until I build a couple buildings, because that's what ups your upkeep. Happily, titanium is like glass steel. It's one of those starting resources that everyone is aware of right from the get-go. So there's another temple ruin there, and I want to go to it partly just to see the whole region I'm in. Since I can see pretty much the boundaries here, I'm curious what the minor race is in this region. And we're gonna fold this group together. Alright, we encounter a new faction, the Sisters of Mercy. They provide a debuff disease immune light infantry unit, it looks like. And you can assimilate minor factions, and for every village of theirs you control, you will gain an empire-wide bonus. Alright. Okay, nothing happened. Let's go down here. Mutant Marsh. Is that more terrain? We'll probably go one more step next round. Now, if you want to be, let's see, where is it? Manage armies and units. So you can, of course, switch all these items and weapons and such. I prefer this particular weapon as it lets you act faster, although it lowers your chance to hit and crit. And really important, so you can outfit your hero and your every individual unit with different equipment. Improved movement, you have to put on everyone if you want it to take effect. And unfortunately, that's expensive. It would cost me 90 dust to make my army move one space further every round, but that is, of course, a big upgrade. Oh, no. Okay, so then you apply your changes. You can change your primary weapon for your hero for free, I found. And then you can upgrade all future units of a single type. Like every Drakken-Kin I build from here on could have the bonuses from a helmet, cuirass, and boots. And then, of course, we can make them anti-cavalry instead of anti-infantry. So you keep an eye on upgrading your weapon tiers. Allows you to upgrade every single one of your units, which is fantastic. So don't overlook weapon upgrades. I'm actually going to save that. No, I'm not going to save that. But totally cool. Totally customize everything. There's no way I'm going to go to 20 turns with this. Alright, so we researched our thingamajigger. And now we can pick a new research. And I want a sewer system, because I found that approval rating can boost everything in your empire by up to 30% if you keep it really well. Oh, interesting. Gonna search this. Searching is free, does not cost an action. There is a 20% chance. Alright, we got 10 wine. Wine is actually fantastic because wine boosts by 30% happiness on all cities, and we're gonna use that immediately. Alright, so there are two places you can look at approval. There's the Empire approval bonus, and at Fervent, which is 90% plus, it gives you 30% extra dust and 30% extra science on every city, which is obviously fantastic. Then there's the City approval bonus. When a city is fervent, you get 30% extra food and 30% more industry. So, maintaining a high approval rating all across the board is fantastic. It's why we're researching the approval boosting sewer system. Plus, it increases the influence, as long as you're happy, of the city's output, and we're a very influence heavy race. That's how you buy your diplomatic actions. That's right, diplomatic actions not free. Okay, for Lord's sake, it's gonna take me forever to get out of here, but I need to know what my whole area looks like. Alright, looks like our hero leveled up. We can inspect him. So opposite the equipment is the skill tree. You get 1 point for every level you gain after the first. You have a class section, which is based on whether you are a support, infantry, cavalry, or ranged hero. So it differs per. You have the common, which is common to every hero in the game ever. And then you have a faction specific one. So each race determines 30% of your potential skills. They are all kind of a mix of military and economic, because heroes can be assigned to cities as governors. For the starting hero, I suggest Indiana Bones, which improves your search on ruins, makes it less likely to get nothing and more likely to get good stuff like quests that can help out your empire dramatically or give you tons of XP. And it's just, I think your first hero at least should have 1, probably 2 points in this, simply because they will be searching so many ruins before you could afford another hero, and they're kind of your explorer. Unless they're not. If they're not, then, you know, skip it. Okay, our region is obnoxiously shaped, so we may want to learn to swim. An Era 2 tech that lets you get into boats and stuff. Okay, let's get out of here. The reason I'm exploring so hardcore is, yes, I want to meet the minor faction in my region. Alright, that is the Seriton, or they have the Drider unit, which is a good support unit for me. They're ranged, they can cocoon friendly units to raise their defense and heal them. And Sweep Strike Back means that if you are forced to retaliate, that means someone attacks you before your turn, when you attack back, it's an area attack. And every one of their cities, or if you assimilate them, then you can get extra defense across your empire. Sweet. Okay, you want to interact with your starting minor faction soon. Also, this dye deposit, I would not be able to utilize this dye deposit until I've revealed it from the Fog of War. So exploring your starting region right off the bat, very important. Alright, sewer system research is complete, thanks to that 30% bonus from Fervent, everyone being happy. You can research Search Party, which improves your search on ruins. I'm torn. I'm not sure. I've gone into games with all three of these. With a hero that had 2 points in Indiana Bones, and Search Party researched, and gotten lots and lots of goodies from artifacts. If you do that, you really want to focus on army movement speed, so you can get to all those ruins, because when other players search ruins, it does not prevent you from then searching those ruins yourself. So it's not like there's a limited number of ruins everyone's fighting over. You just need to get out there and explore, so movement speed is key. I am going to try and skip that this time. What do I want to move towards? I want to start extracting luxury goods, since I have dye and wine in this region. Normally I wait a little bit on those. This lets you extract luxury goods, and there are better extractors later, I think. This may be one of those key technologies you cannot leave behind, actually. That's how I feel about it. The icons below indicate this little expansion exploitation. You can read them right below the picture. You'll get an idea for what that means. That's basically map stuff. And yeah, I'm going to be wanting extracting the glass, steel, and titanium also. So this region actually starts off with a bunch of like strategic and luxury goodies. So I'm very excited about that. Oh my, a ton. Escaped specimens. There are hardy beasts here. That's an anomaly. So those don't count for much, but these luxury and strategic resources I really need to reveal. If you look at a city, up here under Donadan is a region view. It will tell you what luxury and strategic resources you either have, or there'll be a question mark if you haven't revealed them from the Fog of War yet. It'll also tell you the status of every minor faction village. So it's hostile. Every now and then it'll spawn roaming armies. We would like to interact with it. Now, if you don't have the language square research already that we start off with, you have to attack. You can also pay dust to pacify it. If you attack and destroy it, it is destroyed, which means it won't spawn roaming armies, but you have to rebuild it if you want it to be peaceful. When you rebuild it, you will get a worker. When you bribe it, you will get a worker in the city in that region, if you have one. If you don't, then you don't get a worker until someone builds a city, and they do. Or parlay, and they'll give you some XP, 6 XP for every time you parlay, and you get a quest. Tribe leader needs your help. A pack of hostile monsters has been raiding and threatening their village, and they lack the military power to stop them. If you wipe out that threat, the tribe will be more than happy. So find the monsters. The tribe has identified their lair in unspoiled ruins. So show me the location. If I go here, fight the monsters, then this village will peaceably come over to my side. Likely I have to come back and give them their for whatever, but they will give me 15 wine. So let's make this our primary quest for now, because the XP will come in time for the Drakkenlings. So we can get 15 wine by doing this quest, and there's another reward waiting. So the nice thing about doing these minor faction quests is, oh, they can take so long though. Okay, so, yep, we took care of research. This says we got a new quest. So if I destroyed them, I would have to build them via my city. I rebuild that village, and then it would be peaceful, and it would give me my extra stuff. Ooh, I want to switch someone over to industry. Wait, is that already going to take just one turn to do? Oh, let's go ahead. I'm going to set up the mill foundry next. Alright, if you just end your turn, your troops will move if they have a pre-planned route. Or you can always push this button to cause everything to move without ending your turn. Alright, memorial is finished. Mill foundry is next. Alright, I am actually going to consider upgrading these guys with the improved movement, because this forest is killing me, and one extra movement would get me out of it way faster. Yeah, so there. You have 30. Then we're going to upgrade you guys with the talisman, so your movement is improved. That makes them more... That means... Okay, so now we've improved our design. That means every time I say build one of these, it will have this included in it, this talisman. That does not affect the existing units, which we can retrofit for 53.9 dust. Boom. So now my heroes you always have to buy their stuff outright with dust. Units, it tells you how much industry something costs. You know, it's below the screen. But that just improves how increases how long it takes to build, unless they already exist, in which case you have to. Darn it, words. Alright, now my whole army is moving at 5-point speed instead of 4. 4 is like the standard. So, I think that was money well worth it. Little expensive. Of course, you can quick buy buildings, but it's expensive. Saving up dust is important. Trust me, you need like 500 dust to buy another hero and a research. Let's line up that research ourselves. The mercenary market, this allows you to buy out-faction units as well as heroes. This research, very important research. Here are some of those armor and weapon upgrades I was talking about. So remember that these armor and weapons aren't just for your heroes, it's for every single one of your units. You can, of course it requires glass, steel, or titanium to do it, but it also reduces the cost. And every era you'll start finding more and more. So you can skip them and research later, weapons and stuff. Let's get a library. Okay, how many researches do I have left to do? 4 more researches before I hit the next era, and I would like to use them wisely. So 1, 2. I don't know, that's tough. One. Let's take these. For one, I want I want to be able to assimilate minor factions. This research I'm just researching now. I can't use it this early in the game, but I want to be able to use it. Kind of the same. I want access to my other unit, which is really high damage fast. And I'm going to want access to these. These are things I want that, yeah, I might not use immediately, unlike everything I researched first. But then I'll be researching Era 2 and leave Era 1 behind, so I need to grab whatever I want for the future. Okay, so let's have these guys move. Another minor faction. These crazy, monstrous looking support units are like ranged healers, surprisingly. And I can parlay with their village on my way. It's all gravy. I will note that units get XP every turn. All of the Drakken units are fast learners, which means they level up 25% faster. So these guys have a couple XP on them. And so does your hero. Your hero gets quite a bit, 5 XP a turn for wandering around. A bit less from being a governor, but still. Alright, so let's see some combat. So we search these ruins, as the quest told us to do, basically. So we find the monsters, we get our 15 wine. Boom. New objective, you've been trapped. Survive if possible, but more important, make sure the monsters are all killed. Our reward for this is pacifying the village. So dismiss that, we are attacked. So let's take a look at the army. A battle with a roaming army is about to begin. Okay, so this was spawned by our quest. We've got our dudes. We've got our hero. They have no hero, and they've got their dudes. A circular attack means that they'll attack everyone nearby, so I don't want to cluster my units together. And sweep strike back means that when they retaliate, it'll be an area of effect. So I really want to keep my units kind of spread out when fighting these guys. This indicates, it's basically, I think, just a indicator of hit points. It's useful for estimating if an auto combat is going to work. You can, of course, manually control your units, is what we're going to do. You can spectate and watch the AI control so you can get an idea of how it works, or you can hit auto. And when you use auto, it definitely performs very specific actions. Like, if you have healer supports, you may find that you have more hit points after the end of the game. It does not just, like, stick it all in an algorithm and let go. And then you choose your global strategy. Offensive, defensive, or hold position. You can change these after the first turn, but it's definitely going to happen on the first turn. For us, we're just going to go offensive. It basically controls what your units default to if your orders don't make sense once they get around to it. So let's begin. We see a minor faction because when you fight, you do so on the terrain that that is the map. So you can actually, we actually see places that we couldn't before. This actually expanded my vision. There are these little flaggy things. They are reinforcement points. If you have a ton of units, they will filter in from here. I don't. Yeah, so these are like the spawn locations for your reinforcements. Say if you're fighting near one of your cities and they contribute militia, they'll probably start popping up around here. Okay, so what we don't want. So now I can choose where to deploy my units. There's a further back option. There's a further forward that lets you just start your initial position. There's reset to default. Or you can select someone and right click and they'll move. Note that what's really important in this game is the order that everyone's going to move in. And how far these guys can move. So they have a speed too, so they're very slow. And forest takes up 2 movement. What we're going to do is split them up. So our hero goes first, then the vile snakes, and then our units. So I want my hero, say up here. He's got a range 3 attack, also a range 3 heal, basically. Alright, our units are speed 4, normally speed 3, but they have those talismans that we gave them. Also increases their initiative, but not enough. Okay, so I am going to deploy like this in hopes of luring the vile snakes into making some dumb decisions. Now we target. I suggest targeting whichever enemy goes first. They tend to die the fastest because they trigger counterattacks from your units. But we're going to do it like this. Since we need to keep our units split up, let's attack different ones with our, at least, primary guys. And then you commit. Alright, so start off with my attack. I do 35 damage. And the weapon I chose, alright, he does 23 to me. Alright, so this was part of our plan, attack this guy. He won't retaliate because he already attacked on his turn. And then you'll notice that our unit does exactly what we told it to and hunts down this guy in the background and attacks him. Now he does retaliate because he had not attacked yet. Now we have another targeting phase. Here you can tell him to move places. If you control click, or is it Alt? If you hold down Alt, you can tell him to move to spaces another unit already was. Or you can tell him who to attack, and it's as simple as that. So for our hero, we're going to step back. Since his strategy is offense, what he'll do is he'll obey my command, and then he'll resort to a strategy. His strategy is offense. He will most likely attack this vile snake that we're moving away from. Also, there's morale. It's this little dot here. I don't know exactly what morale does, I admit. Then the vile snakes will go. Hopefully this one won't be able to circle attack both of our units at once, but this one definitely will. But let's get our hero out of there. And let's actually try and focus this guy down. Because it uses up your attack to retaliate, ganging up on a unit means you face a lot less retaliations. Now of course our hero can heal, which is awesome. But we won't be using that yet. Let's at least knock down one of the enemy. Alright, as predicted, our offensive strategy causes him to attack. Alright, we killed it. That's awesome. Uh-oh. Now this vile snake gets a better chance to whack both of us with its stupid circular attack. Alright, but the damage isn't too great. And then we fight it. You get bonuses for being in forest. Okay, so now what's going on? Our hero wants to heal that unit. I think that's totally fine, as our healing will certainly outpace the damage this thing does. Everyone else wants to attack it. Let's do that. Note that you only get 6 turns to finish the combat, so we may have to switch away from healing. Oh, he took 0. Ouch, and we took a ton of damage. Okay, more healing, nullifying that last attack. Alright, he didn't do any damage to any of my units, which is great. And it looks like we are going to kill him on the last turn. Which means... how much attack? Yeah, it only takes 1 hit to kill him. Let's do our heal first then. Also, units... there, so it died. Yep, perfect. If you have healer units that go last, they will heal your units before the end of combat, even if all the enemies are dead. Like here, if these guys healed, they'd be healing themselves. Boom. There you have it. 2 vile snakes defeated. A little bit of damage across my army. Having damage spread across your army is great because units naturally regenerate, except for the Broken Lords. That whole race does not. You have to pay for them to regenerate, which is really tough to get used to, especially when you don't know everything about the game. Alright, so we have pacified the native tribe, and they can become an ally of ours. What does this do? Well, we immediately get another worker, who I'm going to put on that, from having pacified this village way back here. See, they've got the little flag. Now, we can also, in Empire Management, assimilate this minor faction. So if you assimilate them, it costs you 30 influence points. Here it says how many of their villages we have across our empire. 1. So we'll get a 5% defense bonus. And we'll be able to create their unit models is the big takeaway here. Now you can't assimilate very many minor factions. I think the limit's like 2 or 3. But that is how you expand your potential unit model, your army makeup. At least buildable units. You can always recruit mercenary versions. This is a great unit for my army. I'm not sure if I need the defense or the ability to build their unit right now, and since other things may come up, since you have to spend influence to choose your empire strategy, I'm not going to make that expenditure just yet. But that is how you perform a quest, a parlay. Now, we haven't actually searched this ruin for itself. We just did it for a quest, so we can actually do it again. So we get 40 dust, fantastic, and XP. This guy's got to be leveling up soon. Yeah, one more ruin, and he will be leveled up. He's still got 3 movement points. Let's go ahead and do this one. Sometimes you'll get quests instead of goodies. Oh, yep, just got a quest. Intellectual Jealousy. Produce 40 science in one of your cities for 10 turns. In exchange, get 15 influence. Fine. That sounds great. Our hero leveled up. So, XP per turn on units is great, especially for the Drakken. For one, it'll help us complete our quests sooner, and of course, I think it also affects, if you're a governor, it also affects units in your city, in your, defending. And as far as I can tell, units can just keep leveling up and become more and more powerful. But maybe it stops at like 4 or 5. Or we can focus on searching ruins, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. Forget the faction quest. I want the ruiny goodness. Since I did not research better ruins, I'm gonna at least have this guy do it. And let's explore towards these other ruins. It can be hard to tell ruins from like other things like glass steel, but you get the hang of it. Alright, we finished the mill foundry. Let's see. So, if you started off near some awesome resource, like these steel stalks, but you can't, but it was obvious that you just did not need to create your city right there, you can build districts around your city, and what they do is they expand your city's ability to use things around it. Your city will level up as soon as you have 4 districts adjacent to it, and a district will level up as soon as you have 4 districts adjacent to that district. Leveling up your city makes districts make lower approval rating in a city, but then there's an offsetting approval increase per district based on what level your primary city is in. So you want to expand near your city, the approval will go down, and when your city levels up, suddenly your approval will rise and you can start building more districts further away. For us, this is a big spot because it'll let us use these steel stalks as well as these two forest industries. So I really want to jump into building a district as soon as possible via the borough streets. To make up for the unhappiness that will cause, the steel stocks fortunately actually give us a little bit, but we don't want to drop below 90%. Do I want to build these? Oh man, I want wine to be coming in ASAP. Because wine is actually something I'm using right now to make all my dudes happier. So let's build a wine extractor. Should probably build a dye extractor. I guess it'll be a while. Oh look, this lowers my approval by 10, this increases it, so that's a freebie almost. How much is this worth? 263. Yeah, this borough is going to be worth more than almost anything I could possibly build, thanks to this anomaly, these steel stocks here. So let's put that on the list. I want to put the dye extractor. You do have to pick the location on the map, that's why it has to be revealed. Let's go ahead and shift that up actually. Get it out of the way. As every turn I'll be getting one, and that's kind of, you know, kind of key. So exploring is important because you want to figure out where you want to build your next city. Chromatic land, right? Look at these anomalies here. Like I could build a city here and I would get the research and influence bonus from this ruin plus these awesome anomalies. And then of course you want to consider the minor faction that you might get access to from that region. Anyway, it's awesome. Titanium. We actually want to go here. Since this looks like a place I might actually want to build a city in. Let us parlay. Return to this village with an army that contains a minimum of 3 minor faction units. We'll get 15 gold and they will be our friends. Oh, these are the eyeless ones. Okay. Oh guys, see I can't stop playing. Can't stop playing, it's so good. Okay, another important note that you should kind of look at from the beginning of the game, but I totally forgot. Over here, it tells you when the dark season is coming, aka winter. Winter sucks. Food and productivity drop across the whole map, every tile. And movement speed is cut in half in battle and outside of battle. And apparently every winter season gets longer and longer. Also some city improvements like the seed storage only give you bonuses, but only during the summer season. So it's important to build a seed storage sooner rather than later. Basically winter is bad. Usually it's short. Okay, wine effect has ended, which means my guys are merely content, not super happy. This is why we want the extractor soon. And I'm going to reactivate it because apparently I have enough wine to do so. Oh yes, I got wine from that little faction quest. Perfect. I am going to go ahead and activate this gold as well, which will net me. It means my city goes from 11 upkeep to 6. which nets me 5 extra dust a turn, so that's 50 dust total for using those up. And of course, what else was I going to do with it? There's also a notification that I should start stocking up on influence points, so I can have a superior empire plan when I reach turn 20. Okay, totally forgot what these guys' quests was. Oh yes, 3 minor faction units. Pretty possible, pretty possible. We're researching mercenaries, and we could totally pacify the little dudes, our Drider buddies, whenever we felt like it. Search. Tin wine, perfect. That will keep us on our empire-wide wine bender. I'm gonna go ahead, see this place, the Sisters of Mercy, and parlay to see what their quest is. Kidnapped brothers are somewhere in a nearby region called Hawird. Locate the right Dorgeshi village, which has a marker, and destroy it. Alright, where's Hawird? Oh, we were heading into that region anyway, because you want to explore nearby yourself. Maybe we will. Alright, wine extractor completed. Dye extractor is next. We are now bringing in the wine luxury good. Does it tell you? Ah, yes. So you can see up here that you're getting +1 from this city. You can also see, where is it? Ah, here that it's been built, this extractor. You can walk through ruins, but you can't stop on top of them. So, black dust, gross, right? Maybe. Alright, here is a Dorgeshi tribe. We will not be able to parlay with them since they are actually part of a quest to destroy them already. They are a kind of cavalry thingamajigger. Let's go ahead and get another taste of combat. One of the problems with minor factions. Alright, research completed. Moving on. Is some of them can really kick your ass early in the game. And it can be really hard to tell. Basically, I would say if it looks intimidating, you're in trouble. Oh, also you can only attack, each army can only attack once per turn, and that cost, that's your army action, is indicated right here. It takes 1 army action to attack, which means you can't do it again. Okay, so let's look carefully. They have 110 life, they are cavalry slayers, crippling charge. Unfortunately you can't read about these abilities until you're in combat. I think we can take them. We could auto-resolve this, but I do want to show you guys a little more combat because it is a very interesting system. So they only have, what, the 1 unit? They've got the 1 unit. They're going first. We do want to apply as much pressure as we can to them. And we don't want to let them move. Let's look at their abilities. Charge, 25% attack if it moves, if this unit moves. 10% attack per movement point spent. So their attack ramps up a lot the further they move. That's why we're boxing them in. Crippling charge, 10% chance per movement point spent to stun the target for 2 rounds. That's bad. That's why we're not letting them move. And they're good 30% extra damage versus cavalry. Which is fine because we're not cavalry. I have 2 infantry and a support unit. And let's perform our devious encirclement tactic. Now he gets to go first because he has higher initiative, which means he will get to move, but that's life. Oh, he didn't move at all. So we take no damage. Oh, we are gonna rock this guy. Good choice. You see how they, instead of moving up to a position where they were lower on the terrain than their opponent, they moved up to a position where they're on equal terrain footing. Improves all of our goodness, and we're gonna wipe them out right now. So the AI was kind of dumb, never moved. Our hero's attack does reduce their attack by a little bit, since we switched to that weapon. Alright, now, here is their reinforcement unit. It popped up. Since they did not move off of the their little reinforcement point, they are totally screwed, because we get to rock them one at a time. Does not get better than that for us. I'll probably devote a turn to healing. Let's look at these guys. 167, I heal 35. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. Oh, I healed 38. That's because I leveled up. Alright, so this should be it. I am gonna say heal that guy, because we've got plenty of time. Yes, yes, make it happen. Perfect. Perfect. Note the percentages of chance to do damage are down here. The higher your attack, not the higher your damage, but the higher your attack, the more likely you are to do better tiers of damage. Basically plus or minus 50% or complete whiff. Alright, so we rocked that. You'll note that our units leveled up, which of course is good. Alright, we got 10 Moonleaf, which can give us extra science and approval on cities. And now if we come back to the tribe, they'll give us 15 glass steel and they'll become our friends. Totally worth it. Also, our Drakken-Lings leveled up to level 2. And you know what that means? It means that this quest will be completed. Now, faction quests, I think they don't complete until the end of the next turn. Now, this village is destroyed. If I build a city in here, I would have to rebuild it. It was the Sisters of Mercy that gave us this quest. Yes. So let's just go back and complete that, because it can be a real pain. If you have multiple heroes, then they can totally mix and match going to quests. But, alright, winter could start anytime now. Alright, dye extractor is built. Level up 2 Drakken-Kin units, give us 15 glass steel. Awesome. Reach 10 influence per turn in one of your cities is what this is trying to say. 10 influence production. Reward is 30 influence. And we've met a Mizari. Okay, the green race and Herkuf. It could pay to have good relations with them. Not something I'm going to worry about just yet. So, let's note I do want this bonus influence and this influence before my empire plan comes around at turn 20. So I'm going to scheme to do this. Fortunately, it's pretty easy. If you built your city next to a ruin, then it only takes 2 population. Right? 3? Okay. Maybe the district? I don't know. Anyway, enough population shifted over here makes it pretty easy. So we're going to leave them there for 1 turn, and we're going to get our quest completed on turn 18. So let's take a little quick tour here. Basically, send a compliment to increase influence cost of negative treaties and decrease cost of positive treaties. It will also make you and the other empire earn more diplomatic points. So I actually do want that. And I'm going to go ahead and do it. Warning. Send a warning to decrease influence cost of negative treaties and increase the cost of positive treaties. It will also reduce diplomatic points earned by you and the other empire. So close borders, declaration of war. Basically, you pay for these with influence. I'm going to go ahead and shoot a compliment their way. You can see their response. Good taste is noted and appreciated. And then you can see here that they are indifferent, and we're in a Cold War. So this is the Cold War zone. Peace, allies, war, indifferent, indifferent. You'll see they're jealous. It'll tell you why, which can be really important for adjusting. Okay, so we did that. We'll just spend some of that influence that we're spending a turn getting. Go here, we parlay again, which means more XP, pacification, and glass steel. Excellent, right? Quests are good. Let's see. It looks like there's a region over here we can go looking at, but it's kind of far away from the people who are expanding towards us. So maybe what I should instead do is actually explore towards other empires so that I can claim territories that might be contested sooner. Also helps me get this nice little relic here. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. Alright, so we achieved our influence objective for our main quest. Outcome. Unpronounceable remains content. They watch the Drakenlings, they prepare for diplomacy. Convinced that the Draken hold the key to Eureka's future, she will hibernate, reflect, and dream of the future. So there are like two leaders, two dragon leaders, and the first one is more outgoing and non-traditional, and the second one is more traditional, and they switch off. Yes. So another one awakens. Our new objective is to gain enough influence to set the military ministry of the Empire plan to level 2. We get 80 dust for it. Awesome. You want to get this before turn 20, because I think we can do that on turn 20. Gain enough influence to set military ministry of the Empire plan to level 2. The wording can be a little strange. Just stick with it. We're going to hop here. We're going to search this bad boy. New quests. Love the quests. Quests are the rarest outcome from searching ruins, and the reason I'm getting so many is because I invested in ruin searching, Indiana Bones, for my hero. So come back and search this ruin with a Delver's unit. That can seem really hard to get a Delver unless you find them on the map, but you can go to the mercenary market once you research it to grab Delvers, which is probably the easiest way. And come back with 10 titanium and 10 glass steel, and then you will gain the ability to build this super crossbow, equipable by heroes only, but you can tell the list of effects is insane. Equipable by ranged heroes only, so maybe I'll want to invest in a ranged hero sometime soon and then finish this quest. Till later. I won't worry about it. Alright, that is not... Let's see, what faction quest do I want? Switching my main quest to here. Here's some of those roaming armies. They are, of course, worth XP. 2 Delvers. These are the aforementioned Delver units, I think. Yeah. Circular attack and a chance to stun. Otherwise, they're fairly weak, but of course, that's quite the combo. We're gonna just try and go around them a bit. I mean, we're just gonna ignore them. If they attack us, we should be able to take them. And I will stop at turn 20, I promise myself. Alright, they attack us. Let's go ahead and resolve this. No. Well, yeah, let's auto-resolve this one. Show you how it works. Alright, we crushed them, took a little damage, probably because we heal and they don't, and they have low hit points. Well, you know how they have different negative totals of life? That's because it really does calculate lots of actions. And it's a nice simple system, so it doesn't take forever to auto-resolve. It doesn't actually have to get abstract and weird. Okay. Now, +1 vision on flying units. Interesting. I have to say that one doesn't intrigue me. +5 defense on all units. The grand scheme here, that is totally up to you guys. Extra life, extra accessory slots. No negative effects from winter. That's probably worth working your way towards. 5% everything on the city. Oh, so good. Approval. Tons of influence. Even the heroes you put on your cities, you probably want to send them out to level up a couple times before making them a governor straight up. Siege bonuses. Let's go with XP per turn. That'll be good for everyone at all times. Best to grab it early, I'm sure. Exploring, really appreciating this extra movement that I spent the time to get. Yay, more wine. Note that I could be sciencing it up, and is there a reason not to? Am I researching or building the science building just yet? No. Let's do it. Let's get our science on the road. There, I just boosted our science by 50%, which turns into 6 science for 10 turns, so 60 science. For free, right? It was just a bonus I had. Oh. Anything else? I've not extracted enough dye to use dye anytime soon, but that increases my influence. And I'm staying ahead of the wine curve. Perfect. Let us parlay. Gift 10 emeralds to them. Those kind of resource requests are generally the ones that cause me to just flat out attack. They've only got 2 Delver units. We just crushed 2 Delver units. Let's just go ahead and get our XP. Some units you may seem to have the advantage and you will get crushed. So you should kind of have an idea of how things work out. Low health, generally a good indication that you can crush them. Note here, we got beat up, they're dead. Village destroyed, quest failed. Do not be afraid to fail quests. So it's turn 20. If you get a red notification, that means you must perform whatever action it's asking of you before you end your turn. But before we make all these big decisions, within 5 turns, search for a relic at the unspoiled ruins illuminated by rays of dust. Which one are you talking about? Okay, so within 5 turns I need to get there. And then I'll get my reward. That's fine. I would note that I got 10 XP for searching this one, so just seeing that quest is fine. Winter could make completing this quest a problem, but fortunately we're fast and it hasn't hit yet. And Lord knows what the reward is. A relic of the past, maybe it's some sick equipment. Now, turns out when you get equipment, you kind of get a blueprint, and you can usually only build one. So it's not like you get free equipment, but whatever. It's usually fantastically powerful and totally worth it. Okay, first off, let's recheck our quest. Gain enough influence to set military ministry of the Empire plan to level 2. So I want military level 2. That means Units cost 20% less to build, and units have 30% extra attack. So this is to complete my quest, but I don't mind these bonuses at all. So then here, it costs me 60 influence to go with this plan. If I say increase my science by 20% from cities, and my vision on units by 2, then we're talking 100. If I wanted to get 25 more approval on all my cities, which fortunately I don't need, then we start to exceed the amount of influence I actually have. And I have quite a bit of influence for this early in the game. I will take the vision, and then I can spend, what, 20 more to get 3 dust per worker. Now remember, this all applies for the next 20 rounds, and then you can start from complete scratch. You do have to spend influence points, so there's a big expenditure of influence every 20 rounds, but it warns you a couple rounds beforehand. I'm going to go with this dust bonus, since it's nice and cheap in terms of influence. And yeah, this is what I'm going with. I get to spend a lot. Other races will not be able to spend so much and have to focus a lot more. You can become reliant on things like this happiness, or this science or whatever, and it can be really painful to move away from if you have to change your empire plan due to a lack of influence. But hey, it's a great system. So I gotta remember to build units now. There you go, that'll complete this quest next turn. And it looks like that is the end of my first session. I know it was, it took a while. But I am quite pleased to have shown you guys this excellent game. I think I covered all of the basics. And you should be able to start a game of your own if you get the chance to play. We of course didn't get to see the Dark Season, which is coming up, but I think you'll forgive me. And maybe I'll continue this series if you feel like watching. So, on that note, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll see you next time. Also, I'll be starting my XCOM 3.15 D2, I think is the current version, playthrough, and with my Tactical Sense Overhaul mod revamped to version 3. It's fantastic. Armor and weapons now give you perks, generally, that makes equipping your soldiers way better. Way more choices, way less reliance on high-level troops for interesting abilities. It's fantastic. I'm playtesting it now, and I'll be starting soon. Plus, I'll actually have, and forgive me, I know this is cheesy, but I think I'm going to be doing fan fiction narrative to go with each episode to practice my writing skills, because I would like to be a writer at some point. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you catch all my other videos. I will see you later.